What is going on, guys? Carlos here from Everything Tech, and in this video we're going to remove the FRP lock on a Galaxy Note 8. So I'm just going through the prompts to show you how to that the phone is indeed locked by FRP, and I can't go any further without putting my Google account. So the first thing we're going to need to do is turn off the phone. So press the power button and press the power off on the screen, and that will turn off the phone. The second step we're going to need to do is put the phone in recovery mode. So that is power, volume up button and Bixby button. So all pressed at the same time, and as soon as the screen powers on, remove the finger from the power button, exactly like I did in the video. So once you see this Android installing system update, just take your fingers off. You don't need to keep holding them. I've done it, but you don't need to. So shortly after the Android comes up, just remove the fingers. And then you're going to come to this recovery screen here, where you can erase the phone, you can erase cache, and it's got various functions, but that's not why we're here. We're going to find out what firmware is installed on this device, so we can find out the binary. So as you can see on the top, this one is the N950F XX and then U5. So the binary is U5, so it's binary 5, and as you can see, I've got Android 8. So now that we know what firmware is installed on the device, it's time to turn it off again. So you can either use this on-screen one to power off, or you can press the power button and hold it, and that will turn it off as well. Now we're going to go and put the phone in download mode, and to do this we're going to need to press the power button, the volume down button and the Bixby button. So all three at the same time until you see a screen, a warning screen. My one, the screen was a bit low, but as soon as I pressed volume up button to go into download mode, the screen came back to life. So as you can see, FRP is on, OEM lock is on, and this should not affect your warranty. Warranties should be exactly the same, but you know, your mileage might vary, so don't take this with a grain of salt, because it might not work for you. So now it's time to plug our phone onto the computer, and we're gonna go and open Odin. All the downloads are in the links, all the links to the downloads are below, and I've uploaded 3 things. One is the combination firmware for the Note 5, and that's all in my desktop. I put everything in my desktop. So that's the combination, that's the one that we're going to be doing first. So load up the combination in AP in Odin, wait for it to load. Depending if you've got your combination file on a normal spinning drive, that might take a little bit of time and you might get the spinning wheel, but it's not a very big firmware, so you should be okay. It shouldn't take too long to load. So I sped up most of this video because all the loading part on the video just takes such a long time that you've seen these all the time. Normally I just leave them so you can see that it's actually in real time, and I'm doing this as it happens. So you know, just so you don't think that there's any fiddling or anything going about. It's everything is, you've seen other videos on my channel. I'm not messing about. I'm telling you exactly how it's done, and no more, no less. But the loading parts, they just take too long, and I sped up most of them. So now you can see that there's some pink writing on the top, and you can see the Samsung Galaxy Note, and it will come up a factory binary now, a loading screen with a factory binary. Just let it load all the way to the actual screen of the factory binary, like the interface of the factory binary, because we're going to need to change some settings. This might take a little bit of time, I would say a few seconds, like maybe 10-15 seconds to load, and then you'll be presented with this screen that's coming next, like a blue screen sort of thing with some icons. So what we're going to need to do, you see the row of icons on the top, like that square of icons. Click on that one and then look for settings, and then go all the way to the bottom and look for developer settings. Mine is a little bit up from the screen, and then we're going to need to check USB debugging. So turn it off, turn it back on, and go OK. Now go to the back button and go to the house at the top to go to the main screen. So that house there, the one that says IME, click on that one, *#0808#, and that will present you with the USB settings screen. So DM, ACM, and ADB, and press reboot. I'm doing this as quickly as I can, so I won't bore you to death. But yeah, this. So when you press reboot, you're gonna go through the same thing again. The pink writing on the top, the factory binary is gonna load up again, and we're gonna go back to the same screen where we're gonna select the USB, the IME, and select the USB settings again. So IME again, and then *#0808#, and then click OK instead of reboot this time. If it's not selected DM, ACM, ADB, then you're gonna need to reboot again in order to select that option. So now let's go back to the desktop, and we're gonna load up the Samsung FRP bypass. And I normally like to do this 2 or 3 times just to make sure, because I'm going to install the firmware, and that's going to take quite a bit of time, and I want to make sure that everything is going to be properly done. If it doesn't work when you right click on it and run as administrator, just try double clicking on it, and sometimes depending on the configuration of your PC, this might vary. You can run it as administrator. If that doesn't work, doesn't give you the same writing on the screen like on the command prompt that like I get, then you're gonna need to double click on it, and then that will give you that writing if you're doing all the right things. Another thing is, if you are not in the binary 5, what you need to do is install the firmware that I post in the links. So install the 8 firmware BTU that I'm going to post in the links. And first, in Odin, all of the firmware with the CSC exactly like a CSC, and all the IP, CP, and BL, all of those to get your phone up to the U5 binary. So once we do this, now we're going to put the phone back into download mode, and we're going to load up the firmware. So this is the firmware that I'm talking about. So load up the BL, load up the AP. This might take a little bit of time because it's quite a large file, the AP file. And then we're going to load up the CP as well. These bits I didn't speed up because they don't take extremely long. They're not like very lengthy files, but it does take a little bit of time to load depending on where you've got the file. If you've got it on an SSD, it's going to load quicker. If you haven't, then it's not. So load up the CP file. That's your modem file. And now on the CSC, instead of loading up the CSC, we're going to load up home, which is the last one. So load up home. Do not load up CSC, or else you'll still have the FRP afterwards. It should take a little bit of time to load the CSC, and it's time to start the process. Again, I sped up most of this video, most of the loading screens, but in the meantime I'll speak to you about things that you might face. So if you've got binary 4, binary 3, update the phone to binary 5 with the full firmware that I have got in the description. If you update the phone, then you're going to be able to do all of these exactly, and all the process is going to be exactly like mine, and you won't get into any errors or anything like that. So once the full firmware is loaded, it's time to let the phone just boot to the initial screen. It takes a little bit of time because this is loading from cache, because we didn't use the CSC. So everything that was in memory is going to stay in memory. It's going to install, update, system update, run up to 32%, and then it's going to erase everything. It's going to reboot again. Might reboot 2 or 3 times. Don't be alarmed. Everything is perfectly normal. So once it fully boots onto the desktop, you'll see that you've got the terms and conditions. So click next on the terms and conditions, swipe up and click next, click OK, and then accept the terms and conditions and click agree, and that's it. You're on the desktop now. But now most of the configuration is going to be messed up because you were on 7.1.1, you downgraded when you cannot downgrade. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to have to do is factory reset the phone. Don't worry, your FRP is already removed, but your memory might not be reported correctly. So make sure that you factory reset the phone. Again, this one I went forward, like I fast forwarded 2,000 times, 2,000%, because it was a very lengthy process. So once all of that is done and you see the install applications, now we're going to need to in here you can connect to Wi-Fi if you want to. I had to stop the video and connect to Wi-Fi. As you can see, accessibility is already on. I had to connect to the Wi-Fi because it just wouldn't work. I can go next, but it would just says like connecting, trying to connect, but the FRP is already removed. I think it's just trying to get updates and things like that, and because if it doesn't have Wi-Fi, it can't get those updates and it will fail, saying failed to connect. So if that is the case, go back, log into Wi-Fi, and then follow, you know, all the process of getting into skipping or agreeing or install, you know, putting your own email account, whatever you need to do to the phone, and that should accept everything that you do. I've skipped most of this part here, so you will see that it gets to the desktop. So just go to finish and that's it, all done. Your phone is ready to use, and now you can either insert your email address or do whatever is needed that gets your phone set up with your username. So I guess this is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, or if this video helped you, please give us a like and please consider subscribing so I can continue releasing more content like this. These videos take a very long time to record, edit, voiceover and set up the phone numerous times, so any likes or subscriptions, I really do appreciate them. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.